You're watching ET Markets Live. Welcome to ET Market Wrap, your go to show for everything market related. Joining us now on the ET Market Wrap is Kranti Badini, equity strategist at Wealth Mills Securities. Thank you so much, Mr. Kranti, for taking out time and joining us today on ET Markets Live.
Thank you, Neha. Thanks for inviting me on your show to share my market views with all the viewers of ET Markets. Thank you.
Well, the pleasure is all mine. So let's quickly start with today's session. Let's talk about markets this week. The markets were mixed. We did see a rally, but it was mixed on an average this week. What happened in the markets this time, and can you sum it up for the audience?
Yeah, Neha, we have been discussing from last couple of weeks. Markets
Hmm.
are in a consolidation phase, and as
Right.
and when markets are going above 25,000 levels of Nifty, uh,
Hmm.
uh, market did try to cross the range of 25,750, 800 range, but uh, from that range onwards, okay, there is no earning support
Hmm.
or some kind of a uh, buying interest is not emerging at the higher end of the market in the medium to short term. And also the global markets uncertainty with respect to the trade tariffs,
Hmm.
and also the recent European Union regulations with respect to import of Russian oil into Indian markets also created some kind of a knee-jerk reaction towards the
Hmm.
market. At this point of time, okay, as the market drifted below 25,000 level, whenever market drifts below 25,000 levels of Nifty, some kind of a general weakness do persist in the market. That's what we have been witnessing in the past 3 4 quarters. So whenever market drift below 25,000 level, 25,000
Hmm.
level acts as a strong support and also sentimental level for the market. Today, market could able to drift below the 25,000 level. As and when market drift below the 25,000 level, there would be shorts get opened, and also there might be there we clearly witness a selling pressure on the markets. So as long as the markets are below 25,000 levels of Nifty, the trend, the medium to short term trend, can be negative. If the
Okay.
markets rises above the 25,000 level of Nifty, it's like a pivotal point. If the market goes above 25,000 levels of the Nifty, automatically the trend will move in a positive territory for the medium to short term. We are in the earnings season of Q1. We have
Hmm.
not witnessed any kind of a blockbuster or great guns with respect to the earnings of the company. The current
Hmm.
earnings season is not enticing the markets at this point of time. Of course, we are witnessing some kind of a very selective pockets of revival in earnings, but with
Hmm.
respect to the large cap, the equity pack is concerned, the bellwether stocks are concerned. It can be IT or with respect to the monolithic organizations like Reliance Industries and all. They could not able to support the markets at this point of time. Look at the chart of Reliance, the way the stock has witnessed a profit booking,
Hmm.
it down around 10% from its peaks. So that's what creating the pressure on the market, because as the one of the heavyweight of the Nifty, when it's corrects 10%, obviously the markets are going to be in a volatile zone. And what's missing in this market is the leadership rotation. In the earlier rallies, what used to be witnessed was the nice change of leadership, rotation of the sectoral rotation and the leadership rotation of stocks. Right now, the leadership rotation is missing in the market. But thanks to the domestic institutional investors who have been stood like a rock to these markets, that's where we are holding still nearer to the 25,000 level. If that
Hmm.
participation is not coming from DIS, market would have been in a different lower end of the territory. But nothing to worry. What we witnessed in the past 18 months to 24 months, as we normally discuss, whenever there is a sustained, persistent weakness in the market, the optimum level of pessimism whoever invest in those points. It can be the investors or the delivery based traders. They reaped a good amount of return. So I don't think so. This case also the similar kind of a case. The investors for a longer term or a delivery based
Hmm.
traders also can use this dip at this point of time to accumulate the chips.
All right. Let's also talk about the India UK FTA. Yesterday, only PM Modi and PM Keir Starmer signed the landmark India UK FTA agreement. Now, what are the implications of this agreement and what lies ahead?
Yeah, Nehab, it's a positive move. Any bilateral trade, free trade agreement is positive for the both the economies.
Hmm.
It gives a sense that India is more keen to enter into the new markets and allow some portion of the other countries' products to Indian markets. That's what
Hmm.
India is. India is mature now, much capable, and also Indian companies are matured to withstand
Hmm.
the pressure and the competition from the uh, uh, other company products. So
Hmm.
as and when the any bilateral trade that happens with respect to the trade is concerned, one thing is every country want to protect the interest of their domestic institutions and the industry. At this point of time, it's a time for India to go for a bilateral trade, free trade agreement with respect to UK is concerned.
Hmm.
The major key beneficiaries for India is one thing is the textiles manufacturers are going to get benefited um, because of this trade deal, and also leather manufacturers and gems and jewelries, and also the farming aquaculture is concerned. These are the sectors going to be benefited, and also the chemicals and all. We need to see how the industry is going to shape up, but primarily prima facie, these are the basic sectors that are going to get benefited. We can see the ease of doing business between UK and India going ahead. So these are the key sectors and beneficiaries because of the UK and India trade deal is concerned. But people might be observing or thinking, "Arey, we had a trade deal. Why the market is coming down then?" Uh, this is the final form of the deal, but the by and large, market could able to absorb the discounted these outcomes of the deal. But we tend to see some aquaculture say shares going up today, some kind of a selective buying we are witnessing in textiles and some leather company shares are concerned. That's what the uh, broader analysis of UK and India free trade FTA agreement is concerned. And also, we need to see yeah, it also benefits the Indian pharma companies
Hmm.
to enter a new market like UK.
Right.
That we need to wait and watch who are the key beneficiaries and what are
Hmm.
the products are by and large going to be. Uh, we have some companies who have presence in UK, companies like Wokart. The stock has witnessed a strong rally. The stock has been a multiplayer. The stock has moved
Hmm.
from 300 to currently trading at 1700. They have a plant in UK. So those are the companies who have their presence. Okay, they are the first movers to take the advantage of these kind of FTA deals.
Okay. Just a follow-up question. You mentioned about pharma sector also, pharma companies also. Do you think that the issue that India and US are facing in terms of the 200% tariffs on pharma companies, do you think that UK could maybe like have a little part where it could be balanced in terms of the companies what they're looking in terms of export? Do you think that it could shift a little? We could see a market shift actually from US to UK, or there is no comparison between UK and US in terms of exports.
Neha, if you observe, majority of the Indian pharma companies, okay,
Mm,
they derive their predominant revenues around 70 to 80% of their revenues from the North American region, especially from
mm,
US. So
right.
right now, because of this uncertainty of trade tariffs are concerned, definitely it's going to have a major impact with respect to the pharma companies across the globe, especially the Indian pharma companies are concerned. In case, okay, if the implementation of these tariffs on pharma companies are going to be implemented, but we also need to see, we are also negotiating with the US. The other hand, the big news is yet to come. So Indian pharma companies are included in that trade deal. We need to see the final blueprint of the US India trade deal is concerned. So by and
Mm,
large, at this point of time, okay, we are quite neutral with respect to the Indian pharma companies are concerned at this point of time, especially the companies which have their highest earnings exposure, revenue exposure towards the uh, North American region is concerned.
mm,
But one thing is, US also started jotting down this,
yeah.
the tariffs which has to be implemented, and the supply chains which has to be immediately moved from out of US to US. And
Mm,
these all our Indian pharma companies who have exposure towards US, they are all US FDA approved companies, and they implemented highest standard of good manufacturing practices, the GMPs are concerned. So replicating immediately, the for US, they don't have any choice. And
yeah.
the farmers are by and large, these are the essential drugs, life-saving drugs. So they can't, if they increase the tariffs, uh, and it's going to backfire to the US administration. One way, they're thinking about lowering the medical costs, and in terms of the
Mm,
tariffs are concerned, the other way, they are increasing the healthcare budgets on US citizens are concerned. So it's a very sensitive subject. I don't think so. The US administration, they don't do any kind of tariffs in a hurry.
mm,
Uh, they are going to have a bilateral arrangements with respect to pharma is concerned. Overnight, moving these supply chains to US, it will not happen.
okay. All right. Let's also talk about the generic sentiment globally right now. What can we expect in terms of global markets in the coming few weeks, since we have a lot going on in terms of tariffs, in terms of FTA, we just got done with the FTA also. What do you think? What is the general consensus on the markets right now?
Yeah, the general sense at this point of time, Neha, the majority of the long only funds across the globe, even the funds who are originating from emerging
Hmm.
markets, they want to be a market don't like the uncertainty. And
Hmm.
right now, every day the uncertainty is going up. Of course, what we witnessed is some kind of a softness with respect to the geopolitical issues. Couple of months back, there was a heightened activity in terms of the geopolitical escalations are concerned. That has been subsidized now, but the trade worries are still propping up. Uh, a couple of weeks back, there was when you and me are discussing on your show, we were
Hmm.
discussing about U.S. and Japanese trade deal. There was a lot of uncertainty, but finally that could able to manifest this week.
Hmm.
So these trade deals are creating a lot of uncertainty. The major trade deal between US and China, that is extremely crucial. Of course, we in India, we tend to ignore, or we don't pay more attention. But with respect to US and China trade deal is concerned, is extremely crucial for the global growth. Of course, in these trade deals, India have chances to take their fair share of market of manufacturing. That's
Hmm.
one advantage
Right.
for India. So, by and large, there are so many moving parts in the global economy at this point of time, and these moving parts are creating a lot of uncertainty to take any kind of significant long only positions at this point of time. So, by and large, the funds have been trying to be in sideways in these markets.
Okay. Let's also talk about the Q1. I know you mentioned about Q1 in the beginning, but let's briefly talk about what is your outlook and expectations from the current Q1 season. What do you think is happening and why is it happening?
Yeah, Neha. We are at the still starting phase of the Q1 results. The entire large cap space is concerned. Just to name the IT, thanks to Infosys, some kind of a better than expected kind of numbers, but TCS and all, it's complete washed out. And the disappointment for the market that do came from Reliance Industries, even though the other income and the profitability is good, but still the implication of the European Union implication about the refining tariffs on Russian oil, okay, that has created some kind of uncertainty with respect to Reliance is concerned. That's where Reliance Industries stock got corrected from its peak, nearly around 10 to 12%. Banking and financial services, there is a mixed returns with respect to the earning theme is concerned. We have disappointment
Okay.
from banks like Axis Bank, but whereas ICICI Bank and HDFC delivered a good numbers, and that could able to make the markets to sustain some extent. So good set of numbers from banking and financial services. But right now we are witnessing a very stock specific as we progress. Mid and small caps by and large, they are showing to many of the people surprise. They are showing some strength, earning resurgence. That's where we are seeing at this point of time. By and large, it seems to be like a muted earning season at this point of time. Still,
Okay.
there need to be some kind of a heavy lifting is needed to
Hmm.
see the earnings recovery.
All right. So we've reached the end of our segment. Let's also discuss about levels to watch out for this week and outlook before we close the session.
Neha, very simple. The level to watch out is 25,000 levels of the Nifty. If Nifty
Hmm.
could able to, if the Nifty is not able to withstand the level of 25,000 level, then there can be some kind of a selling pressure do emerge in the market. If the Nifty could able to decisively cross the range of 25,000, which is crucial, it's a
Okay.
sentimental booster, and it is living for very short term. Okay, we
Hmm.
need to see the Nifty decisively holding 25,000 level, and I believe in the coming week we could able to see that level Nifty coming back to 25,000 level, which is crucial. So I look forward for the level of Nifty sustaining about 25,000 level for next week. Otherwise, markets may witness some kind of a selling pressure in the medium to short term.
All right. And what can we expect next week? Any I know about the levels, but can we expect consolidation or are we looking at something else in the next week?
Yeah, one thing is the next week market is we need to see the trade deals, okay, that are getting
Hmm.
executed. The global markets also extremely crucial. By and large, what I believe is markets can move to the positive territory about 25,000 level. That's what we can expect from the markets at this point of time. And a higher range, we need to see 25,250 levels of Nifty. At the bottom range, we need to see 24,800 for Nifty. This is the range I'm looking forward. If the market drift below 24,800 range of Nifty, that can create some kind of shorting positions. Furthermore, if the market could able to come about to the range of 25,000 levels of Nifty, 25,250 levels of Nifty, that's what I'm going to see the next week. So by and large, plus or minus 200 levels of Nifty is going to play on the cards for the markets.
All right. Well, this marks the end of our segment for today. Thank you so much, Mr. Kranti, for taking our time and joining us today on ET Markets Live. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thanks, Neha. Thanks for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today.